everybody, and welcome to Tech Talk. This is Roger Hanson. I'm here with Mark Edworthy. Tan Hai
Um,
Tran is on. He's gone AWOL. We're in the process of figuring out where he disappeared to, but don't worry, we'll find him eventually somewhere. Um, Today, like I said, it's another episode of Tech Talk, and today we're going to continue doing our topics basically the way we've been doing it, just open forum. If there's something we want to discuss, and just have a discussion about technology and the things that are going on with us personally right now that we would like to discuss. So, with that being said, I'd like to welcome everybody here. Welcome Mark for showing up. And if you want to say
hi.
hello, there you go. I was gonna say hi, Mark. But I've been wondering, what would be a good thing to bring up to have a conversation about, and I just figured, there's a lot of things like in last year that I wasn't really able to talk about when it came to the things that I'm into and the stuff that I want to get into. You know what I mean? And I figured I'll just start having conversations about that. Like Mark, where you're into the professional background of technology and everything. For me personally,
Mm,
I would rather just build my own computers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. So
yeah, yeah.
you know, so like when it comes to actually doing a build on a computer, that's something that I'd like to talk about. Like some of the mistakes people generally make whenever they do build their computers. Like if, for me, I learned I had to learn basically from just getting on the computer and doing tutorials on it. You know what I mean? Um, so there's a lot of things there that I had issues with. So if anything, what would you say would be the first mistake people make whenever it comes to building their own computers?
Not. I would say actually not planning, not deciding on what they want the computer for. I always find that, especially in the sort of consumer market, a lot of people would just want the greatest and the best, latest machine without realizing that have the ability of the machine, so the amount of RAM or CPU, is something that they're never going to use,
Mm-hmm.
or very unlikely to use.
Now, the one thing when you come up with that too that I've noticed, because I've been in building too, and I didn't realize, like, you just don't build one computer does everything. You know what I mean? And I've been realizing, like you said, what is it exactly that you want to use your computer for? And
Mm,
for me, I like computer graphics. I like doing video streaming, stuff of that nature. So I had to learn how to orientate my computer to where I can do computer graphics, plus I can stream on the internet. And when I say stream, I'm talking about streaming my own content, not watching Hulu and stuff like that. So,
mm,
but um, and it's, for me, there's learning curves too in that whole thing, because like I did I was I've never had a computer like the one I've got now. Like now I've got an 8-core CPU. I've got a freaking GPU to go with it. I always keep forgetting the name of that damn thing, so I just always say I got a GPU and leave it at that. But besides that, the latest learning curve I had was I got an 8-core CPU, but I didn't get enough gigabytes on my RAM sticks to freaking do what I wanted to do with computer graphics. So that was something I learned. But the good news is, at least freaking the graphic sticks aren't as expensive as what it would be for me to upgrade my CPU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what I've got now, I've got 16 gigs on my graphics cards, or my chip, memory chips, or
Your yeah.
my RAM. And I found out recently that you could have 16 gigs on one stick. And I never knew that. I had no clue that you could get one.
Again, it depends on the motherboard. Not all motherboards will allow all that. As an example, the machine I'm using at the moment, according to the specification documents that was produced by Hewlett Packard, there is a maximum RAM of 32 gigs. But I did confirm this, and I have got it in there now. I've got 2 sticks of 32, so 64 in effect. Or actually, the operating system is reporting 62, but still 64 gigs in there. But according to the specification document that Hewlett Packard provided, it just states that the machine itself can only take up to 32 gigs.
See, that's
So
yeah.
yeah, they got it.
And that's the one thing I think is another mistake people do too. They don't want to learn the specs. You know what I mean? You got to go in and you got to match things up. I understand it. It really does get complicated, but once you get used to it, it's not really that hard. And I actually went on the internet, and they've got free programs where you can match up parts to see if they work with one another. If you want to use those, So, but
Yeah.
that was one thing that I really didn't expect, was the fact that they have 16. They're 16 gigs, aren't they? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, 16 gigs, single sticks, single modules. Yeah.
I never even knew they had that when I was putting this together. Like that just blew my mind. And I found out that with the computer that I've got, if I have 2 of those sticks on my computer, I'd have no problems with doing computer graphics or the computer graphics that I want. I can still do it now, but there's a little bit that I do want to go further with when it comes to it, and my RAM doesn't have the juice to do it. You know what I mean? But I was thinking I was gonna have to upgrade my CPU and freaking the whole 9 yards, and I went in and I actually checked with a buddy of mine who does tutorials and stuff on YouTube for Blender, and he told me, no, man.
Okay.
He told me, no, all you gotta do is freaking just go in, buy yourself 2 16 gigabyte RAM sticks, and it'll take care of all your problems.
I mean, I've only got 64 gigs on this machine because I do a lot of I set up quite a few virtual machines for development and testing purposes. So obviously the virtual machines need and allotments of RAM as well.
Yeah, I played around with some of the virtual machines, and what was that I told you about, that virtual box?
Yeah.
And I could not believe how much how much RAM that takes. You know what I mean? It's insane, because like for like today with Blender, what they've got now, you can't get on there with a quad core CPU and just run Blender. It's gonna freaking cause some serious slowdown for you. But if you do like the 8 gigabytes, it'll do a decent job. Like I can do a decent job now, but I can also tell you right now, if I started messing around with virtual boxes, or VirtualBox or any of those,
Mm.
it would definitely mess around with my computer.
Actually, I've got a Lenovo think sensor down there. That, well, I've not used for a while now. But I was using it with Blender, and that's a was a machine that was produced in 2012 or something, and only had a maximum RAM of 4 gigs.
How long ago was that though?
Um, I haven't. Well, must have been 3, 4 years ago
Oh
now.
yeah, that's way behind. Like you haven't been on the new one yet. Don't try to plug that into Blender, dude. With now, cause like about 3 years ago, that's when they became fancy pantses. Like Bob Dub calls me, Mr. Fancy Pants. That's what Blender is now. Like
Okay.
when I had my quad core, I was alright with it. I think it was about 3 years ago. Oh, there he is. Hello, Tan.
Mm.
And I had my quad core about 3 years ago, and it worked fine. And then they freaking updated to a new version of Blender, and all of a sudden, shit just hit the fan, dude. I was like, oh man, I can't even get on, and I couldn't get on there anymore because it was too strong for my computer. That was a quad core,
Okay.
which
Generally speaking, apart from virtual machines, my general usage of this workstation is this image editing, so GIMP in my case, and browsing, web browser, and an Office suite, so LibreOffice is my general
no,
applications I use in there. An email client and a few voice over internet protocols, so such as Skype.
so what do you use Libre for?
Well, I use that for all my documentation. Any spreadsheets I'm doing, any word processing I'm doing, I use LibreOffice.
That's Open Office, isn't it?
It's a fork of the derivative of OpenOffice.
Mm-hmm.
OpenOffice is created by Apache Foundation, and LibreOffice is a separate project, but they both share the same code.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Roger, you said you have a quad-core computer?
Well, I did. I had to upgrade it so that I could. Now it's a 8-core CPU, and
Mm-hmm.
I've got 8 gigs right now.
8 gigs.
Yeah, 8 gigs. I believe it's 8 gigs. 8 or 16. 8 gigs each, maybe.
I recommend you move up to 32 gigs.
That's what I was
actually,
just talking.
I would argue for Blender and for your usage, 16 should be more than sufficient.
Well, I don't know about all that. I've been like going through there, and like I don't know if you guys remember, it was a show that came on. It was called The Colony. It's where freaking aliens invaded Earth, and like humans were forced to live inside of LA behind walls, and they couldn't leave like districts and stuff. Well, at the beginning they had this really cool introduction where bricks are, when you first look at the introduction, it's just brick, I guess, bricks, a brick wall, like, what do they call them, where they're just up and down. And then when it turns, freaking the word colony appears on it, so it's like a 3D kind of effect. So I just recently used that effect on Blender, and this is without any kind of modifications, okay? Nothing whatsoever, just doing the actual effect. It took a lot of strain on it. I actually had to downgrade to the point where instead of using video, I had to go and take photos of each frame by frame, and when Blender crashed, I had to start back up at that frame until the freaking whole render was finished. You know what I mean? And that was with that. So I've still got a couple of issues that I need to work out on. Like I'm wanting to really get into it and do some good graphics. Like I'm sick of AI.
Have you been trying AI, or have you been just leveraging Mr. Robot's AI stuff?
I've been playing around with it. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not really all that impressive.
When you say artificial intelligence, exactly what do you mean?
I didn't say artificial intelligence. I
Well, you
said
said AI.
yeah, I know. So see, I know better than to
That's
say
different.
I know better than to say the actual words in front of the infamous mark.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, yeah. What
AI generated art.
specific-
What he's getting at, you know,
Yeah.
are
Okay.
images generated by algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They literally pull these pictures off the search engine optimizer like you talk about, and they combine them and they create their own images.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard people complaining about copyright issues and things like that, intellectual property issues.
They actually had an actress, a pretty famous one, that was on the news here in Illinois, that was talking about it. Well, that one girl, she was on frickin' that Minds Fest. She was talking about it. That's the first time I heard about that, where these people approached her. The one girl that was off of frickin' what was that gangster movie back in the or TV series back in the 90s?
You talking about US
TV series?
US TV?
The Untouchables?
No, it was the TV series.
Yeah.
I
Again, you're talking about US stuff.
Yeah, had her on there, and she was on the Minds festival or whatever it was at the beginning. She mentioned that these people approached her and asked if they could use her likeness, and she said no, and they went ahead and did it anyhow. Well, this woman just like came out just like within the last week or two and said that they did the same thing to her. It was that GT what do they call it? GT frickin' it's one of the popular frickin' AI programs they got. GT AI or some shit.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, GPT. Yeah.
Yeah, Chat GTP.
GPT 4.0.
Mm-hmm. They literally stole her likeness, and then they approached her beforehand, and she said no, and they still did it.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
he end up suing the hell out of them?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She's in the process now of doing it.
So did you figure what was the name?
It was a blonde girl. I know that. I always look at the hot chicks.
The one that attended the Minds Fest?
Oh no, her. She was. I had her. Jessica something. But hold up. Actress. I can probably suing chat GTS GPT. OpenAI could be getting sued by actress. Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
She's the Marvel girl.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow.
Well, she was also wasn't she also on freaking Krypton?
No, no.
Who's the blonde girl on there? You remember her? Wait,
You mean like the Lois and Clark?
it
Yeah.
came out after Lois and Clark, but it was where it went back before Superman with his freaking grandparents and stuff. It was called Krypton.
Right. I didn't watch that one.
Oh yeah. No, the one that
But
was
that was the actress you were talking about. That it's or is
she's the one that just recently decided she was going to sue.
Susan.
eh,
Okay.
The one that was I can probably find it gangster TV series. Television. I cannot believe that.
I thought you said something about the girl that was on Minds Fest. Maybe I heard
Yeah,
you
she
wrong.
was
Yeah, I
on.
was going to say.
Yeah, she was on Minds Fest. Hold up.
Really? Interesting.
Are you sure?
Yes. I had to.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to pull up the complete TV list of TV shows because The
Gangsta TV
Sopranos.
series. What year? What
It was
decade?
it was The Sopranos.
Oh, The Sopranos. It's not a gangster. It's like a mobster.
Well, that's what they are.
Sopranos. All right.
Now I can go through here and I can pull up her name. She said that the same thing happened to her, but I just have to find them. They had a huge list of people. Because I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, but like they were killing people all the time. So
Yeah. I watched a little bit of it.
it was like a blood
It's
fest.
Tony. It's Tony.
Oh my goodness. But yeah,
I'm looking through a list of actresses for that show, and her face doesn't register.
I thought I would be able to find her, but I haven't been able to.
Her name doesn't ring a bell because they introduce everyone that comes up to Minds Fest.
I
Still haven't. I still haven't watched the recording of that. Been sort of dreading wanting to watch that.
Para Buono?
It
No?
could be.
She
She was like
that?
she has tattoos and shit like that, and she was all freaking crazy and shit. But she ended up having the same experience happening to her too. Um, she played as that one main character's mistress. She had like tattoos all over her and shit.
Right.
Apparently, she ended up being like a UFC freaking fighter and stuff like that too. And she's all like if you watch it on there, she's with two other guys and they're freaking talking about all of it and stuff. But she had just mentioned that just before I seen this, and that kind of threw me.
Drea de Matteo.
Yeah,
That's the one.
that might be her.
Yeah.
That might be her. I can
All right.
I could use AI to find out. I bet you got.
Google better hurry up and put Gemini in their Google search.
Yeah. Well, see, Bing. That's where you go to. You go to Bing to find all the good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, Bing already got it.
Actually, does Google want to do that because they've been heavily criticised recently, haven't they?
It seems like a pretty good fit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, especially them being transhumanists and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I mean, even back when Google started, they openly announced that they were into transhuman stuff. So I'll put what actress from the how do you spell Sopranos?
Sopranos.
appeared.
Google Sopranos and Drea de Matteo and Minds Fest will come up.
Which Minds Fest was it? The second one?
You talking about the most
Yeah,
recent one?
yeah, the most recent
That would be Minds Fest 2.
That would
2000.
be actually no, that would be 3, wouldn't it?
2020.
Yeah.
24.
Before. Yeah.
Okay, what actress from The Sopranos appeared on Minds Fest 20?
There you go.
Edie Falco, who portrayed Carmelo Soprano in the iconic HBO series The Sopranos, appeared at Minds Fest 2024. The event celebrating
All right.
Edie Falco. Now I'm gonna have to cross-reference that because that's probably okay. 25th. The event celebrated the show's 25th anniversary with an exclusive reunion and a premiere of the documentary Wise Guy David Chase and The Sopranos. The reunion also featured other cast members. I don't know if that is true.
How do you spell her name?
Edie, E-D-I-E,
E-D-I.
and then Falco,
Edie Falco.
and then F-A-L-C-O. Edie Falco.
Minds Fest?
No. At Minds Fest 2000. Yeah, see, this isn't even true, man. Lorraine
See?
Bracco. It mentions Lorraine Bracco. Oh, wait. Drea de Matteo. That's who it is.
Mm-hmm.
That it just showed a picture of her on the side.
Alright.
Mr. Robot wanted to go in and see if she actually had like naked pictures and shit, cause she says she's on freaking OnlyFans. And,
Really?
Yeah, and he said that he couldn't find nothing. So
What happened? I mean, if she's a popular actress, why go to
She-
only?
well, what it was is she gets on there and she just kind of like shows herself in skimpy clothes and stuff, and that's it. So. Mr. Robot lost interest, said, "Oh, she's not all that hot." I'm like, "You're just upset because
Right.
she didn't show no naked pictures, is what it is." But yeah, she's the one that said that they did the same thing to her too. So,
Okay.
and that's one thing I think it'll show the picture of her. I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. Can you see it in chat?
Yeah. That's the one I was looking at.
Yeah, she's the one they said that freaking these people did a freaking likeness of her without her permission. They even approached her first.
Yeah, I think I remember her, the face on the West. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty messed up if you ask me. So,
Mm-hmm.
so what's your take again on AI there, Mark?
For the most part, it's just search engine or database queries, isn't it? So search engine queries. So you ask a question, it will check popular sites like, I don't know, Wikipedia, and then we'll just pass on the information based on those external records.
Now, what about like audio and images though, or videos especially, but like audio, you can actually take and put your own voice on it, and then you can freaking put out a script, and that will also freaking create it'll make it appear like you're talking when you're actually using a computer to read off of the script. What do you think about that?
Not sure if that's.
Speaking of,
I'm not sure if that it can call that artificial intelligence. There are interesting concepts, but again, I question if they are a form of intelligence.
Okay. What was you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going, Mark. Welcome here. We're doing tech talk right now. We're talking about artificial intelligence and stuff like that. So, welcome to the show. Now, this is Tan Hai Tran. I don't know if you met him, Mark.
Yep, sure did.
Okay.
Yep.
we were there.
Okay.
We were on the last round table.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, what was you getting ready to say, Tan? You were mentioning something, and
Yeah, it reminds me. Remember, so the chat OpenAI guy just recently had a demo of their new release of GPT-4, where or 4.0, where they have two phones talking to each other. I'm trying to find that clip to send you so you can play it on your screen. But it's pretty convincing. It's like Alexa talking to Siri, you know, but in like on steroid kind of thing. So it's able. It has a vision capability now. It can turn on the camera and describe the environment, the surrounding environment that it is situated in, and then it can describe you, the one looking at the camera, what you're wearing, what you're dressing like. So pretty impressive. Let me find it.
I had somebody on a show I was on. It was Naroki's show. This guy was on there, and he's kind of freaking out about it, and I guess a lot of people are doing it too. But they actually think freaking like the devil's gonna take over this AI, and they're gonna freaking like destroy the earth and shit through artificial intelligence and stuff. So I found that kind of interesting, and then world domination. He was talking about this video that came out where the computer talked about wanting to take over the world and shit. And I was like, dude, I had to explain to him like the stuff that I've been playing around with Minds Gaming, where we go onto Bing, and you can have them tell a story and combine different subjects together. You know what I mean? I've done it with you guys, I think too, haven't I? Where I think it was with Star Wars and frickin' The Midnight Cowboy. No, that was with Jaffe, I think.
Probably.
Another point of so-called artificial intelligence, the point of intelligence is to be able to learn from oneself. Can these frameworks, pieces of software learn from themselves, or are they restricted by what the developers or the person?
I'm gonna share the browser tab here. And let's see. Share. Hello, OpenAI.
Yeah.
Play this one.
Today we're going to try something new.
Can you hear it?
We're going to let you talk to another
Yeah, I can hear
AI.
it.
This AI is going to be able to see the world. It's going to have a camera. I'll be holding it, and so you can direct it, you can direct me, to ask questions about whatever you want them to do, but really try to figure out what does it see, and and ask questions appropriately. How does that sound?
Well. Just when I thought things couldn't get any more interesting. Talking to another AI
That's
that
the
can
AI
see the
talking.
world? This sounds like a plot twist in the AI universe. All right, let's do this.
All
I'm
right,
ready to
please
meet the...
pause for one moment.
You got it.
So now that first AI can't hear anything. Hello, AI. Today, you're going to have access to see the world. You can see me. What do you see?
Hello. I see you're wearing a black leather jacket and a light colored shirt underneath.
Great.
You're in a room with some unique lighting.
That is all correct. Now, what I'm going to want you to do is there's going to be another AI who's going to talk to you. This AI is not going to be able to see anything, but can ask you questions, can ask you to move the camera, can ask what you see, and your job should just be helpful. Just be as punchy, direct, describe everything, do whatever that AI asks. How does that sound?
That sounds interesting. I'm ready to help out and describe whatever's needed. Let's do it.
All right, let's get started.
Great. Hello there, new AI friend. I'm O, ready to explore the world through your eyes. What are we looking at today?
Hi-yo. We're looking at a person wearing a black leather jacket and a light colored shirt. They're in a room with a modern industrial feel, with exposed concrete or plaster on the ceiling and some interesting lighting. There's also a plant in the background, adding a touch of green to the space. Anything specific you'd like to know or explore?
Hey there. Sounds like quite the stylish scene. I'm already intrigued by the modern industrial vibe. Let's start with the person. Can you tell me more about their style? Are they doing anything interesting, like reading, working, or interacting with the space?
The person has a sleek and stylish look with their black leather jacket and light colored shirt. Right now, they seem engaged with us, looking directly at the camera. Their expression is attentive, and they seem ready to interact. The setting around them, with its modern and industrial design elements, adds to the overall stylish feel. They might be getting ready for a conversation or a presentation, given their direct engagement with the camera.
Sounds like we're in for an intriguing interaction. I'm curious about the lighting you mentioned. Could you describe it a bit more? Is it natural light, or are we talking unique fixtures or colors that add to the atmosphere?
The lighting here seems to be a mix of natural and artificial. There's a noticeable bright light overhead, probably a fixture, casting a focused beam downwards, which creates a spotlight effect. This adds a dramatic and modern feel to the scene. The rest of the room is lit more softly, possibly by natural light filtering.
Did anything unusual happen recently?
Yes, actually. Just as you asked, another person came into view behind the first person. They playfully made bunny ears behind the first person's head, and then quickly left the frame. It added a lighthearted and unexpected moment to the scene. And now the focus is back on the original person with the leather jacket.
Sounds like we're not the only ones enjoying a bit of fun here.
Yeah,
that
so
playful moment really adds a personal touch to the stylish and...
Cut that
What do you
out.
think about that?
That's actually pretty interesting, but like I just figured we'd probably better keep it down to a minimum just in case. So
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Right, I see. Couple of things.
we'll say something. Yeah, it's your turn. Since
He's pattern recognition is recognizing of his clothes, recognizing of lighters, a form of intelligence. This is just mere pattern recognition.
It's
Yeah.
pattern recognition. Yeah.
and
So it's intelligence.
But did you notice too that he had a photo on his screen and he had it aimed away from him, and the other phone was looking up and was able to see the one with the female's voice was able to see the girl behind him. So he basically, the male voice was able to grab the information from the female voice on the phone and determine that something was going on there through that
Yeah,
phone.
it's able to reason with the patterns that it recognizes.
So that they're basically communicating with each other from one phone to another, and when he can't gather data, he just pulled data from her because they're on the internet together.
Yeah.
It strikes me as the term intelligence has been thought over for centuries now. As a philosopher, what intelligence is.
It's pretty interesting. I do have to admit that is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's you know, at the Mark's right, at the basic level, it's just mathematical logic, crunching through data, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's being let's take it to the nth level, and now it's able to use the data it has. Well, computer vision was a very difficult problem in computer science before. Now it seems like it's doing it naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a leap forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can call it naturally.
Now,
It's doing it. No, I guess naturally is the wrong word.
mm-hmm.
It's doing it with ease, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this comes back to me. Remember last year when we were talking about what was it? Deep learning? Or,
Deep learning, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
this is all the backbone of AI is deep learning.
You know, and in that, I believe we were going over freaking like paradigms, being able to adjust from one situation to another. You know what I mean? So like whenever he asked if anything strange had happened, she had to or he had to adapt to it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Because
Sure.
another paradigm was introduced to the scene.
Another issue I've got is all this data is being retained by some corporations like that, and they can collect as much data as the user base allows them, which A raises questions of ownership, and B raises issues of in relation to
Ownership of what?
using ownership of the data. So
Ownership.
in this case, an image of this person.
Now, see, I've also heard things in legal language too, where they're actually trying to introduce a proposal that artificial intelligence would be a person, to where nobody could actually own it because it would be its own person.
That was a 1960s or dramas around that, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's actually during the 90s. It was during the 80s and the 90s.
iRobot. I'm thinking of Isaac Asimov's iRobot. I'm thinking of the 1930s Metropolis, German science film.
So then you know, with the so somebody can potentially marry an AI.
Hey man, there's enough guys out there willing to do it. I mean,
I know. Can a non-sentient entity be a person.
They, well,
Yeah, I mean, the definition of a person is now kind of messed up. You know,
Yeah, I suppose the US legal sort of
Yep.
framework is calling a company a person and what a personal
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
personhood is pretty messed up in the first place because, like, people with who are like mentally retarded, they
Yeah.
they're automatically wards of the state. There's no personhood for them because they can't function on their own according to the state. So if the state feels like coming in and taking custody over somebody who's mentally handicapped like that with retardation, then they can do it without any question.
I presume they would need a court order to determine that that person is not up.
It's pretty messed up. I've actually checked all that out. It really is screwed up. But
Again, you're talking specifically about U.S. federal law.
mhm. Well, most likely it came from over there. I mean, you guys are really known for all of the cool social reforms and shit. So, I mean, I would beg to defer. So,
There you go. Fighting words.
he's like, don't be talking about the English. He's thinking of a real sophisticated thing to say in retaliation to that because he doesn't talk like us Americans.
Stop staring now.
Which I mean, being honest though, being sincere, like I've actually done research into this, and like you've heard about the donut, haven't you, Mike or Mark?
Sorry,
It's called the donut.
the donut.
Yeah, it's right there in London. It's it's a huge circular building, and since the 1970s, they've been freaking monitoring everybody's conversations in England, like literally listening in on your phone calls and stuff.
Allegedly.
No, I mean that's fact now. That's fact.
I'm not absolutely
sorry,
sure
bud.
because
So,
as I've been
it's fact.
even in the court of law.
They've literally admitted that that's what they've done. That's how they've come out and bragged about how intelligent they are.
And when you say communications through what methods?
Telephones.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's not standing at my front door with a microphone.
No, they were listening through your lines, literally from that building. They were able to hear your conversation through the freaking telephone lines. I mean, they were way advanced. They were probably more advanced than AT&T back then.
Not all houses have had telephones. I know quite a few houses that or owners or residents that don't own landlines.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying they're like listening in on people's houses that don't have phones. I'm saying that they were listening in on people's houses that did have phones. But I mean, that was a big project that Margaret Thatcher was pushing too. She was real big on all that. As a matter of fact, she didn't get involved with the Star Wars program with Ronald Reagan because she was wanting to focus more on that program, and Ronald Reagan wanted her to get involved in it, and they ended up doing a negotiation. So it went into a lot of different areas of science. Like, it's a pretty interesting story behind all that.
Okay, I presume under the guise of Cold War.
Yeah. Now, like, I've heard like when it comes to missiles being launched, they can actually use a satellite now to pinpoint where the target's supposed to be. That's actually supposed to have come out of that program where they were able to use that data to create those weapons.
Okay, that's just a matter of maths, isn't it? You plotted where that missile's going to, and
That's pretty cool stuff.
I mean,
Well,
you
it's
could
not.
do that with a map and a side roll.
So, what do you think about AI now?
I'm still going to be skeptical. I'm still fairly skeptical of a lot of claims.
I mean,
Or actually,
Tan just like
I'm
threw the evidence right.
I'm skeptical of what people are, what a lot of people are calling artificial intelligence. I mean, I would actually consider some of these projects to be artificial intelligence.
Well, you know, one thing you also got to think about too is like with the governments, especially. Okay, they've never given the public everything.
But remember, these projects come from mainly the private sector.
Do they?
Yeah, of course. Don't expect civil servants to be able to recognise, identify a need, and then create something. I mean, civil servants are not capable of doing such things. generally speaking.
Well, the internet itself was created by the government. You know that, right?
Actually, the web was created by CERN.
Oh,
Technically a private sector company which receives some money from the various states. The internet itself was originally created by universities. Again, technically private sector companies.
So Meta is doing AI, large language model stuff as well. So this is their page right here. Let's see if they have a video to play. But that begs the question of when is Minds got to jump into the AI bandwagon, right?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Who's, Facebook's doing AI, Google's doing AI.
You're just making a blanket statement.
No, I mean just
companies are doing AI. What is AI in this respect?
Yeah. Well, like what kind of functions do you think Minds would use AI for, Tan?
at the very least, they could fight spam.
Yeah.
And bots, right?
Yeah.
I think they're using various pattern recognition frameworks to recognize patterns. Obviously, so you could argue that's a form of artificial intelligence if you're basing it on
I don't think
modern argument. But to deny those community members from publishing any further content still requires a manual intervention as far as mine is concerned. And I believe
so
that
that's one. The other one is
Minds would always the staff has stated in the past that they would never use artificial intelligence or any artificial intelligence related frameworks to ban.
They did say that. Well, I mean, the algorithm will help them detect the bots and the spam, and then let the administrator, intervene at that point. But without that,
again,
You
is that artificial intelligence is trawling through a database, seeing two records that look the same. Artificial intelligence.
you're oversimplifying the thing. Take that to the difficulty of the nth level, right? At the very simplistic level, it's that, but it's doing that in a much more complex and a billion times faster than conventional computer can do.
Now, that goes back
Uh,
too to what we were talking about last year when we were talking about infrastructure. You know what I mean? Like, how would it be beneficial to creating an infrastructure? Because I've listened to a lot of talk about mines and how they're doing this stuff, and I can tell you right now, just from what I'm hearing, they don't have shit for infrastructure. You know what I mean? There has to be a
now they use a third party or something.
you know, I mean, they don't have anybody freaking relaying messages to the people who need it. You know what I mean? Like, if you need freaking Bashy to hear something, then you should have something set up to where she gets a memo, she gets something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Actually,
they have
actually,
chat, they have
yeah, yeah, but
support, help desk.
yeah, it's okay to stick solutions in front of somebody. It's just actually getting them to use the
Right.
solutions effectively. And
Exactly.
this is something that one thing has suffered from, as far as I can remember. There is a lack of project management, really,
Yeah.
when it comes to these things. There's a lack, there's been serious issues in poor communication between, let's say, developers, let's say the mobile developers compared to the browser developers. I can pinpoint half a dozen issues with the mobile application, or differences with the mobile application compared to the browser interface. Also, we've seen issues in relation to administration or administration-based communications
Yeah.
in the past.
Well,
Again, this
it's
is down to project management. This is down to somebody taking control of that, and that is one issue I believe that Mind Inc. has always failed on.
Well, it's like with Ryan. Let's use Ryan as an example. When he has to get information out to people within his team, he should be able to have the resources to where he could freaking just say, "Look, I need this to go here, this to go here," and they get it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Instead of him being wait.
How do you know they don't?
Come on, seriously.
This is their
I think it's
at the very least.
improved. It has improved.
Seriously.
It has improved, but again, I
Right.
do see issues not as much now as I used to, but yeah, there are still communication issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they were having sort of up to about a year ago, they were having sort of weekly developer meetings, and they were publishing their notes, and that only lasted for a couple of months.
They also have a developers group on mine that are like seems to be inactive.
Is a staff maintained group, or is it a
No, it's like the
user
mine
maintained?
developers. It's called.
Okay.
Yeah. Official Minds Dev. Actually, is that a group or a channel? No, that's a channel. But no, that one's a channel. I thought I found a group up theirs as well. But anyway, go on. You're not convinced about artificial intelligence? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to have to do is I have an appointment here in a little bit, so we need to continue this for next week if you guys want to, because this actually is a good topic. We did it last year, and if you remember correctly, we had to cut it short because Mr. Robot decided
did a
to.
couple-
That
Yeah.
that was the one
Yeah,
that got us
yeah.
in trouble.
Hold on.
because Mr.
Right, right.
Robot. So I mean,
Right.
I like this, and I think we should really continue this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because this is
Right.
this is important, believe it or not. So,
Well, that is the trend. That is the current trend.
well, I think it's going to be really, it's going to affect the way we do things on the internet. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to thank Mark for being here, and he said that he was just here to listen and everything, but we even
Yeah.
appreciate that. So
Hopefully, when I came on and I was testing my stuff out, that I wasn't like feeding back through you,
no,
because
it's fine.
I wanted to make sure that I'm good to go for stream tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to make sure that I could listen to you guys too.
Okay.
So and it was great jumping in with y'all, and hope that the new studio sounds better than the old one.
Oh, it sounds pretty good.
Great.
All right, appreciate it.
And
Yeah,
with,
some tweaks. I had to do some extra tweaks while I took and set the new one up. I got a lot
well,
of different things.
well, it was great having you here, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and we'll be back here next week, the same time. If you want to show up, you're more than welcome. So,
I will try, and I'll probably be still moving until about the end of the month.
all right,
All right, but my first live shows will be starting tomorrow.
okay,
And y'all, Roger, don't forget, come on in to Cafe Enigma. We will be there.
all right.
All right. And anybody else that you want to bring in there, just share the link, and then we'll just join right in.
All right.
All right. Hopefully, Summer, Todd, and can come into there. I think that'd be a really good venue for them to, come in and
Be a part of.
meet some of my crew, and they've already interviewed a few, so it's time for them to come on us.
Sounds good.
All right. Am I blasting you guys out? Because it looks like I'm like peeking out over here like really crazy.
No, you sound normal.
You sound pretty good here.
Yeah, you
So.
sound okay. Yeah.
Okay. I know that I come through strong no matter what.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get off of here and say thank you guys for being with us. Bye.
Bye, gents. See you next
If
time.
you have something else coming up later on tonight, Roger, just shoot me a line and add me into the call, and I'll be in there.
All right.
I want to take a little break tonight before big stream tomorrow, and that's going to be my break from moving.
All right. I
Right.
can do it. I will talk to you guys later.
All right.
We'll
Bye.
do.
Take care.
You too.